Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Exalted One and welcome back to the fucking Nexus. In today's video, we are taking a look at the new character to be added to the game, Zarya, the ranged warrior. Now, it's a little bit interesting for this character. We haven't experienced this in quite some time for Heroes, of a character that is pretty solidly underperforming in almost all aspects on release. But we're going to try and show her off today, at least show what her abilities are in try mode, kind of go through some of her basic talents, and try and talk about where her positioning is in the game. So this is going to be a little bit longer side of the video, similar to what we did for Alarak and Ariel, but if you do not want to see kind of the longer aspect and some more opinion and conjecture on where she's going to be headed for the next patches, I would tune out now. But if you are interested, definitely stick along because we have quite a few things to cover. So we are here in try mode. Now Zarya is a ranged warrior, has a medium difficulty setting, or explanation by Blizzard. Basic abilities out of the way first. Her Q ability, gigantic area around us, and that is going to be Particle Grenade. Does launch something in area of effect, does deal damage for the targets around her. At level 20, base damage with no energy, does do 136 damage. So not too crazy. She's not a damage powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination. Now, where she gets a little bit interesting is two of her abilities from there on. W is a personal shield called Personal Barrier. We are able to shield ourselves for a substantial amount of damage, and we did absorb quite a lot there. And that is going to be her main source of gaining energy for the most part. Her E is very similar, just targeted on an ally instead of yourself. And that is on a 12-second cooldown for both of those. So we are able to walk in, take a bit of damage. And now the issue that I have is I don't feel like medium on her difficulty is all that accurate. And why I say that is because her trait, and the most important part of her play, is that every time her personal barrier or the ally's barrier is damaged, she does gain energy. That energy increases her damage for her auto attacks and her Q. That's really it. So there's nothing else that's really more complicated than that. So we can see right now base 44 damage. If we come in and take a bit of damage here, okay, our shield is expired. We are doing 91, 90, 88. It does drop off very, very quickly. You can see the bonus down here in the bottom left. It does drop off, as you can see, very quickly. And that's the issue with her play right now and why I feel she's very, very undertuned. Because she has the tools. She has the ability to be a great hero. But right now, she's so underperforming in that regard that her energy drops off so fast, you never get the opportunity to take advantage of it. So what we'll do real quick is just go over her basic talents and the ones that we feel are going to be okay for her right now, and if the change that we're hoping coming to her energy accrual does change. Now, just on a basis though, let's take a look real quick at her at full energy. So with cooldowns, you're able to see her at full energy, and we are able to do about 131 at 100%, or 100 energy, which is 200% of her auto attack damage. So pretty solid. Like, you can melt a target pretty well, because she does have the same attack speed as Tychus, though she does do substantially less damage. So you're able to see his health drop down a bit. Not like crazy or anything like that, but he takes some damage. It makes sense that if you could stay there, it would be good. But when we toggle off cooldowns, look at how fast that's dropping, though. We're hitting him pretty hard. We're hitting him. Oh, we're not hitting him as hard. We're not doing all that well, and he just kind of walks away. Now, what tools do we have? We can hit him. We sure can hit him, but because our Q doesn't do that much damage, it's not going to get the killing blow. And because we have no CC as Zarya, or any movement capabilities, we're just kind of fucked. People can just kind of walk away, and we're not able to do anything about it. Now, to her abilities, at level 1, the two that are going to be awesome. So, Feel the Heat does more basic attack damage if you are in melee range. She doesn't have CC. She doesn't have a whole lot that's going to be giving a reason to be in melee range, and 50%, while it is a big boost to that, and you can melt targets at full energy, difficult to maintain energy, and you put yourself in unnecessary danger. And same thing for maximum charge. It's hard enough to be at 100 energy regardless, so increasing that by 25, it's going to be almost impossible to get there. And the 20 gained from regen globes, hey, that's great. That definitely helps out. But you can lose 20 energy so unbelievably fast, it's not even viable in any stretch of the imagination. The only two that are kind of there, Demolition's Expert. You have to hit 40 heroes with the Q, which with the cooldown that there is, it's 8-second cooldown. You have 4 charges. That's going to be rough. It's really hard to get anything out of that. And even then, when you hit those, you just shoot them a little bit faster, 2 seconds faster, really, and you increase the radius by 15%. 15% is really negligible on that kind of area. Not going to do anything for you in that way. Together We Are Strong, only viable talent, in my opinion, at this level. Basically, you're gaining energy from your allied shield on your E. So you're already going to be shielding people anyway. You can gain that energy and do a little bit more damage and try and increase that a little bit better and make Zarya not as fuck awful as she is currently. So, little difficult to provide a whole lot of good feedback for Zarya as of yet. Yeah, there we go. Okay, had to do that. So Together We Are Strong for sure. Now, the only two really here that make a whole lot of sense, again, the top two. Defensive Shielding, Y, upon expiration of breaking, reduces damage to the next two basic attacks within 12 seconds by 75%. So it gives these stacks a block. Nah, in comparison to some of the other stuff here. So it can have its place, but not really great. Speed Barrier, increasing the allies' movement speed by 25%. That is 3 seconds for your E when that goes off on an allied target. It's alright. It's okay. But 25% isn't that ridiculous that it's going to make that big of an impact there. If you're chasing a lot, if you're very far ahead, okay, but you're not going to know that by level 4. Now, your W ability being augmented, increasing the amount of shielding that you gain, sounds pretty solid, but when you think about the E, so you are able to gain regen globes up to a total of 300 damage absorbed permanently on your E. So that goes up by 15, stacking for a total of 20 orbs. 20 orbs, pretty solid and easy to get, even on 2-lane maps. And you are going to reduce the cooldown when you complete that by 3 seconds. So shielding your allies every 9 seconds and gaining the energy with our level 1 talent going to be much, much better than any of your personal shields are going to provide. And you get no energy. Well, I mean, you still gain the energy, but you're likely not going to get a whole lot more than you already do out of your own personal shielding. And you can increase the amount of times you're able to use that shield on your allies as well. So much, much better in that regard, again, in my opinion. At level 7, Hit Me increases the amount of damage absorbed by your shields by 20%, or excuse me, gives you 20% more energy when your shields absorb damage. When you get maybe 100, 120 at like the maximum before your shields are like completely blasted through, you might get another 20, 30 at the most if you're maximizing it. Energy. Now, To the Limit increases the width at high energy by 35%. It's doesn't even seem like the actual width. Yeah, attack width. It's just actually the length of it for some reason that they say width. And that's only at high energy, so that's above 50 energy. Again, going to be a little difficult to maintain that with how fast you drop it. Not going to really seem all that likely to happen. Explosive Burial, it just kind of explodes around you when the personal barrier explodes. So it does not impact your E at all, only on your self-shielding. Blah, again. Pinpoint Accuracy just does 40% more damage for the center of your Q. So similar to Brightwing, similar to Chromie, all of those kind of heroes, you do actually a bit more damage, and you are able to predict pretty well where people are going to be going. So pretty solid talent at that kind of tier if you were looking for that. Again, it doesn't do enough damage to really make it to make Zarya seem like she feels all that good. She feels really weak, and it doesn't really help out. Now, her ultimate is very, very interesting in the way that one is like a Gravel Bomb from Gazlowe, but worse, and that's Graviton Surge. Launches an area, detonates after 1 second, and just holds them for 2.5 seconds. Now, it does not stun them. It does not silence them. It provides no CC in any kind of capacity other than holding them in an area. They are still able to use abilities. They are still able to attack targets that are near them. Ranged characters are still going to be able to attack. It just kind of sets your team up to do something else. So Zarya herself doesn't really do anything in that regard. She just kind of launches it down. So we can kind of see here. Look, he's still attacking. It does no damage, 0 damage, and they're still able to attack for that range. Ranged characters going to be able to attack still. Has a 120-second cooldown. 2 minutes. That's awful. That is awful. Obviously reset that. Together We Are Strong again. Give me 20. Pinpoint Accuracy. Expulsion Zone. Again, not all that great. It's kind of like like Tyrael's Holy Ground, but it does do a little bit of damage, so we can kind of place it right here on Arthas. Again, it knocks him back, but if they don't move through it again or try and get back, or if it's not in a tight area, you're not going to do jack. It's really, really, again, blah, but that does have a 45-second cooldown, actually does damage, and still can hold an area pretty well. You can kind of lock people into an area, or if someone gets into a corner, you might be able to keep them in that area. So it has its place. That one is actually something you can see that can work. And this does get augmented at level 20, so it makes the other one less sucky. But again, you can just take Gazlo if you wanted to, and he's going to be able to do probably a little bit more than Zarya at the current time, unfortunately. At level 13, only really a couple that are going to be worth it. Pain is temporary. You consume all of your energy to shield yourself, 0.5% for each energy that you have. So at a very maximum, if you use all of your energy, that is 50% of your shields, which is substantial. At level 21, that's going to be about 25, 50 shields. So a lot of damage that you can soak up for that. But that uses all of your energy. That reduces all of your damage and all of your threat as a character. And your shields are going to expire in 3 seconds anyway. So they can just wait, not attack you, not give you energy. You're just going to die. So, endurance training to gain resistant high energy above 75. You're not going to hover above 75. You're not going to stay there. It's going to be almost too difficult right now with how fast it drops to do anything of the sort. Again, that ultimate a little difficult to use, so it's going to be really difficult. So endurance training, not going to happen. Spell shield on your personal barrier. When it breaks or expires, you gain spell shield for 3 seconds, reducing ability damage by 75%. It has its place. You can be alright. And a lot of the fact of Zarya right now is that she doesn't do enough damage to deter anybody. So you can stand there, wait for her shields to go away, and then just pound on her. So, might have some place against mages, though, again, there's going to be much, much better heroes to deal with mages. The only one that really sticks out in my mind right now is Unstoppable Competitor, which the full duration of your shield, or no, half of the duration of your shield does give you Unstoppable. So, what you're thinking of is Johanna's Iron Skin that she has. Now, that is something you have to talent into at level 13. That's a big tier to give up for a hero that already has more CC, more survivability, more damage, and Unstoppable as part of her base kit. It's so hard to see that stuff working. See, now this is a situation where that works. Finally. You can kind of see where that can work a little bit. And it's pretty good for zoning out short areas because you can block them off. But again, Tyrael can do that himself. Now, at level 16, a couple things that are pretty solid here, or a good idea at least. Again, I still feel that she's very, very undertuned, and we'll go into that as soon as we finish up the talents. But Born in Battle reduces cooldowns at high energy. You're not going to hover above 75% energy. It's not going to happen right now. Just go ahead and just throw that one right out. Gain Train is going to be granting an untalented shield to another ally, so you're able to shield yourself and 2 other allies on your team for 958 damage at level 21. Pretty solid. And again, that is untalented, so you don't get an energy off of that second one, but still you're able to sustain your team pretty well. Solid there for Gain Train if you're getting hit in multiple areas. Now, Cleansing Shield. A warrior does not have Cleanse in this game. Now, they do. So that not only shields, but it cleanses the target as well. So any disabling effects are negated. So you're able to pull people out of ultimates. You are able to do a bit of work on some things that normally wouldn't be in place for a warrior. Very interesting concept there. Something that has not been in the game prior to this. Has a good place in the game right now. Particle Shock at level 16 is going to provide a slow of 35% to 1 second for enemies hit by your Q in the center. So again, we have increased damage. Now we're going to be able to slow them as well. And that does finally provide Zarya with a chase potential that she, at the point right now, lacks. She has no chase potential. She has no mobility. It's very difficult to provide anything to her. So, at this option, you have a lot of actually good options. It's her one tier that I feel is going to be good pretty much any way that you go, and there's not one standout. Now, Gain Train, very, very good in personal opinion. I think that that's going to be the option that most people gravitate towards, though Cleanse does have its place depending if you're like playing Chromie or something that has a high CC team that you need to keep your team alive. Plasma Shock as well, if you are in an advantage or if you find yourself chasing the enemy team pretty frequently, you can do pretty well with that. And you can peel pretty well with that. With how many charges that you gain, you're able to hit someone in the middle and then just walk away. So that does provide pretty good versatility there for you as well. So anything that you go in that way would work, but I think Gain Train is going to be best for most situations. Now, 20. Gravity kills for the Gravitron Surge. It does finally do damage and increases the duration by 1 second. Damage at level 21 is only 319. Very negligible. For the most part, easy to go over. But same idea, holds them. They can still attack. They can still cast abilities. They can just do all of that stuff still. But they do take a little bit of damage now. Clear Out increases the radius and actually provides you energy with each shot that they take. So that is 10 energy per shot. So right there, where we saw Arthas running into it multiple times, we would have gained 10 energy each time that he did that. Now again, this is a very difficult ultimate to hit in open space, but if you back someone up to a wall or in a tight corridor, you can do okay and gain a bit of energy and increase again your sustain from that and the damage that you're able to do. So, pretty solid there at level 20. The other one's Unyielding Defender, resets your shield cooldowns. Maybe, but really Taskar is able to do the shield thing even better than you are, so not a whole lot gained from that. So again, we are able to gain a little bit of energy. We gained about 120% there, so about 60 energy. We're able to slow him down. Oh no, we didn't go for that. We went for the shields. But if we did go for the slow, we were able to catch up to him pretty well there and continue to wail on him. Now, the Unyielding Defender it has a place, but not all that great. Just resets the cooldown of these two abilities here. Your E going to be at a 9-second and your personal shield at a 12-second cooldown. Can save your bacon in the right situations, but it's either going to be probably Clear Out or Grenadier, which just resets all of your stacks for Q, or resets all of your charges, excuse me, for that ability with one cooldown. So 8 seconds and you get all of them back. And that is likely the one that I would be going for personally. So again, we're going to reset our talents. Together we are strong. Give me 20. Pinpoint accuracy. Expulsion zone for the most part. Unstoppable. Gain train more than likely, but you can take any of the other two talents up at the top. And Grenadier. So again, what that's going to look like if we toggle this off. Fire, fire. We still have 2 charges. We still have 4 seconds left. Again, that's what some of the difficulty is for the character. Able to launch into this, and we gain all 4 charges back. So again, we're at pretty high energy. We did do a bit of damage to him. And we are able to follow up somewhat well. Whoa. You can kind of think of this as like a Tychus grenade here almost. In that kind of capacity. So we do, there we go, get a kill on him. So she has her place. She's pretty solid at diving towers, but right now, because her energy does fall off, as you can see right here, so incredibly fast, she's too undertuned. She's not going to be viable. Other heroes, Tyrael, Chen right now has much more CC. He can follow up on people. He can slow them down. He can jump in front of them. He can body block them. Zarya has no mobility. Zarya has no CC. Zarya has shields. That's good. Yeah, that's solid. Tyrael has shields. Tyrael can do damage. Tyrael can create zones like she can, but not on an ultimate cooldown of 45 seconds. It's going to be difficult to see where she's going to fit into this game. And right now, I don't think that she does. There's going to be very limited circumstances that she's going to be good in negating some damage and keeping up sustain for her team. But other heroes are able to do that better, and you're able to get a tank that actually can do some damage and deter the enemy team. So until she gets a rework, which I think that her cooldowns are fine. Her abilities, very cool, very interesting, I feel, at least with her Q and the shielding. A cool kit. It's a little generic, which is a little weird with the direction they've been going to make heroes more interesting and more unique. It's a little generic, but I think that it can work. I think that her ultimates can work. She needs a retweak on her numbers, and definitely beyond all other things, she needs a reduction on the decrease to your energy. So the energy drops off too fast to make anything really viable at all. So we are able to gain all this energy. We gain 112%, so that's about 60 energy. By the time that we're able to move back or really take advantage of it to get out of danger, again, we're back down to about 50% energy. We're at a quarter. So if we took any of those talents that requires us to be at high energy, they're pretty well fucked. And that's what feels bad about Zarya right now. I think that she does have a place in the game, and that is going to be with a little bit further down in her development cycle. If they do make that tweak to the energy or how that really calculates, I think that it could be better. But right now, at least, she's in a pretty bad spot, in my personal opinion. And it's going to be hard to see her getting value out of really anything that she does right now. And we did get all of our cooldowns, though. I think that 20 is going to be pretty solid. Grenadier is pretty cool. But she's kind of unique. Her auto attacks are weird. She's just really weak. She's really weak. She doesn't have as much survivability because she has no movement and because she has no CC, that it makes it difficult to choose her over other options. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is Zarya in her current state. And thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Exalted One, and we will see you all next time in the Nexus.